Hello, vinyl community. It's me, Matthew Street. I'm back again for another video. And folks, I had to do this one for my buddy Josh over at the Flipside vinyl community with JC. Josh is a great guy. He's my brother, my fellow Massachusetts native brother here in southern New England. And Josh did it to me again. He pulled me in again, folks. Several weeks ago, he was doing a series about lost classics from the 90s. Take an album from the 1990s that you feel is an underappreciated classic and share it with everybody. And Josh did many entries to that thread, and there were so many other people that I know here in the vinyl community that jumped on board, and I finally got in. I said, that's it. So I jumped in with my entry, and it was a 1992 album by a great band I love from Western Massachusetts called The Size. Go back and see that video. And I talked about their fabulous album called What Goes On, which I feel is a true lost classic from the 90s. And anybody who followed up on that and has listened to that album knows that I wasn't blowing smoke. It's a great, one of the best rock and roll power pop albums of the 1990s. Well, he pulled me in again because Josh is doing it again. JC over there at the Flipside. He's doing a Lost Classics of the 2000's series now, or thread. And I wasn't going to jump on. You know, I have so many friends here in the music and vinyl community that do threads, and I try to get in when I can, you know, with time. And, you know, my dad's almost 93, and I have other work and stuff. So it's hard to, you know, with all my other responsibilities to do all these threads, although I'd love to. But, you know, once in a while, one just pulls me in, and Josh did it again. So I'm jumping on my Lost Classics of the 2000's and going to give my entry here. And folks, if you're looking at this t-shirt, then you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, oh yeah. Now, not many of you know of this band, I bet. And if you do, and if you have the album I'm about to show, and you can prove it to me that you've already had this album, I'd be so excited that I'd be happy to send you a free Midnight Callers CD of their brand new album, Rattled Humming Heart. How's that, okay? You prove to me that you have this album, you want a free CD of that, you let me know and you prove it to me. Anyway, the Flashcubes started in Syracuse, New York in the late 1970s, 1977 to be exact. Artie Lennon, guitars and vocals. Gary Frenet, guitars, bass, vocals. The great Paul Armstrong, guitar and vocals, and the fabulous Tommy Allen, drums and occasional background vocals. Folks, one of the greatest rock and roll, power pop, new wave, hard driving bands to come out of the Northeast in 40 plus years. These guys are the real deal. Still out there doing it on occasion nowadays. They've been on and off over the years. Started in 77. The initial run of them ended in 79. They hobbled on for about another year and a half or so after that. But by 1980-81, the first run was over. They reached hard for that brass ring. They never got signed by the major label, although they deserved it more than many other bands who did get signed. The Flashcubes deserved it, and they didn't get that brass ring. But they persevered, folks. They kept going on and on in other incarnations, joining other bands, getting involved in other projects, the individual members of the band. But then finally, in the early 90s, Gary, Tommy, Artie, and Paul got together and said, let's keep this together. Let's keep it going. Even though we're involved in other things, every once in a while, let's keep the Flashcube name going and do stuff together, live shows, recordings, and whatnot. And they've held to that, folks. And they've put out a few albums and stuff here and there. But the one I'm focusing on today is their one major brand new studio album they released in 2003. It's a 20-year anniversary, and let's celebrate. Because in 2003, the four original members of the Flashcubes got together and they released this album. Brilliant. 2003, 20 years ago this year. I can't believe it's that long. Folks, this album, in my mind, is one of the best albums of the first 10 years of the 2000s and could be one of my favorite 25 albums of the last 20 years. That's how much I love Brilliant by the Flashcubes. I also have a vinyl copy right here and signed by Paul Armstrong himself. All right, and there's the back. On Northside Records, and I will show you the vinyl. Beautiful, beautiful, heavy, thick vinyl. Beautiful, beautiful piece of work here. Folks, this album is absolutely stunning, absolutely great. You will not go wrong with it. I challenge you, all you true rock and roll power pop fans, to look for and get Brilliant by the Flashcubes. This is one of the greatest rock and roll power pop albums of the 2000s, in my opinion. It's fabulous. I love it. And I want to give it my entry into Josh's thread here for the greatest lost classics of the 2000s. You've got to check this album out, folks. You will not be sorry. I promise you. And I have more videos coming up talking about the Flashcubes. I have more on the horizon. They have put together a brand new album. Now, this album is mainly covers. It's going to be called Pop Masters, and it's coming on August 11th. It's going to be a bunch of great collaborations where the Flashcubes get together with some of the greatest power pop and pop artists of the last 50 years and cover their major songs. And so it'll be the Flashcubes working in unison with these great artists to put out a brand new album, covers of power pop and rock songs, coming August 11th, called Pop Masters. And I will surely be talking about that as well. But in the meantime, folks, Josh and everyone else out watching this, get Brilliant by the Flashcubes. 20 years old this year. One of the greatest lost classics of the 2000s. And you come back here and tell me how much you love it and thank me for referring you to this band and to this album. Love you all. I will be back very soon. Got some Beatles content coming. Like I said, some more Flashcubes content, some more Midnight Callers content, some more power pop content. So stick around, and even a little Elvis. Love you all. Bye-bye.